Camp Nou.
Camp Nou is a football stadium in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain, which has been the home of Futbol Club Barcelona since 1957. The Camp Nou seats 99,786, reduced to 96,336 in matches organised by UEFA, making it the largest stadium in Europe and the 11th largest in the world in terms of capacity. It has hosted numerous international matches at a senior level, including 2 UEFA Champions League finals and the football competition at the 1992 Summer Olympics.
History. Construction.
The construction of Camp Nou started on March 28, 1954 as Barcelona's previous stadium, Camp de les Corts, had no room for expansion. Although originally planned to be called Estadi del FC Barcelona, the more popular name Camp Nou was used. The June 1950 signing of Laszlo Kibler, regarded as one of Barcelona's greatest players, provided further impetus to the construction of a larger stadium. Construction of Camp Nou began on March 28, 1954 before a crowd of 60,000 Barca fans. The civil governor of Barcelona, Felipe Acedo Colunga, presided at the laying in place of the first stone, with a blessing from the Archbishop of Barcelona, Gregorio Modrego. Construction took 3 years, going 336% over budget for a final cost of 288 million pesetas. The stadium was officially opened on September 24, 1957. Handel's Messiah was performed at the opening of the stadium. Barcelona then defeated Legia Warsaw 4-2 in a friendly match. The architects were a team made up of Francois Jans, Josep Soteras, and Lorenzo Garcia Barbon.
Early years.
In May 1972, Camp Nou hosted its first European Cup Winners' Cup final between Rangers and Dynamo Moscow. Rangers won the match with a score of 3-2. The 1970s marked a turning point for Barcelona with the signing of a new player, Johan Cruyff, in 1973. Electronic scoreboards were installed in the stadium 2 years later. The stadium underwent an expansion in 1980, in anticipation of the 1982 FIFA World Cup, which added boxes, VIP lounges, a new press area, new markers and an enhanced seating capacity of 80,000. Camp Nou was one of several stadiums used throughout the 1982 World Cup, hosting the inauguration ceremony on June 13. Before a 100,000-person crowd, Belgium upset the defending champions Argentina 1-0 in the match that followed.
Development.
The stadium's capacity has varied greatly over the years, opening at 106,146, but growing to 121,749 for the 1982 FIFA World Cup. Apart from hosting FC Barcelona, Camp Nou is home turf to the Catalan national team, their latest matches of August 2010 being a 4-2 win over Argentina. The stadium is frequently used for other football events. The European Cup final between Milan and Steaua Bucuresti was held on May 24, 1989, with the Italian club winning 4-0. Camp Nou hosted part of the football competition, including the final, in the 1992 Summer Olympics. In preparation for these games, 2 additional tiers of seating were installed over the previous roof line. Camp Nou underwent little change after 1982, except for the opening of the club museum in 1984. The stadium underwent a facelift in 1993-94, in which the pitch was lowered by 2.5 m, 8 feet, the security gap that separated the lawn from the galleries was removed, and standing room was eliminated in favor of individual seating. A new press box, renovation of the presidential grandstand and boxes, new parking under the main grandstand, and new lighting and sound systems were completed in time for the 1998-99 season. In 1999 the UEFA outlawed standing sections in stadiums, and Camp Nou's capacity settled to its current level. The stadium hosted the 1999 UEFA Champions League final later that year where Manchester United played Bayern Munich. United won 2-1, coming back from 0-1 down in injury time. During 1998-99, UEFA rated Camp Nou a 5-star stadium for its services and functionalities. However, as per the 2010 regulations, UEFA does not publish a list of the top venues. In 2000, fans were polled concerning the stadium's name. Of the 29,102 votes the club received, a total of 19,861, 68.25% preferred Camp Nou to Estadi del FC Barcelona, and thus the official name was changed to the popular nickname. The facilities now include a memorabilia shop, mini pitches for training matches, and a chapel for the players. The stadium also houses the second most visited museum in Catalonia, FC Barcelona Museum, which receives more than 1.2 million visitors per year.
Future.
The club issued an international tender to remodel the stadium as a celebration of the stadium's 50th anniversary. The objective was to make the facility an integrated and highly visible urban environment. The club sought to increase the seating capacity by 13,500, with at least half of the total seating to be undercover. The intention was to make it the fourth largest stadium in the world, in terms of seating capacity, after the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the USA, 297,000 capacity, the Rungnado Mayday Stadium in North Korea, 150,000 capacity, and the Salt Lake Stadium in India, 120,000 capacity. On September 18, 2007, the British architect Norman Foster and his company were selected to restructure Camp Nou. With an estimated cost of €250 million, the plan included the addition of 10,000 seats for a maximum capacity of 106,000. The FC Barcelona board approved the sale of their former training ground, the Mini Estadi, in order to finance the remodeling. The project was planned to begin in 2009 and to be finished for the 2011 December season. However, due to the 2008 financial crisis and subsequent fall in real estate prices, the sale of the training ground was postponed and likewise the remodeling project. In May 2010, Sandro Rosell, then a candidate for president of FC Barcelona, dismissed the possibility of selling the Mini Estadi, saying it would be indefensible to sell the crown jewels, and his election on June 30, 2010 effectively halted the plan to remodel Camp Nou. In January 2014, Barcelona's board of directors rejected the option of building a new stadium and will instead remodel the Nou Camp to bring capacity up to 105,000. The project is expected to cost around €495 million, €600 million, with work beginning in 2017 with a completion date of early 2021.
Other uses.
Camp Nou has been used for various purposes other than football, often hosting major concerts. Pope John Paul II celebrated Mass for a congregation of over 121,000 at Camp Nou on November 17, 1982, on the occasion being made an honorary citizen of Barcelona. In 1983 Julio Iglesias played for 60,000 people, in what was described as a most beautifully orchestrated concert. Other high-profile performances at Camp Nou include those by Bruce Springsteen on August 3, 1988 during his Tunnel of Love Express tour. And again on July 19 and July 20, 2008 during his Magic Tour. On September 10, 1988, a charity concert organized by Amnesty International to support human rights featured, among others, Bruce Springsteen, Sting, Peter Gabriel, Yasser Andor, Tracy Chapman, and El Último de la Fila. A concert by the three tenors, Josep Carreras, Placido Domingo, and Luciano Pavarotti, was held on July 13, 1997. On July 1, 2009 the stadium held the launch of the U2 360 Deg Tour, which was attended to the maximum capacity of 90,000 people. The lead singer of U2, Bono, explained that they had started their tour in Camp Nou since this is where we want to build a space station, designed by Gaudí in the capital of surrealism. The concert ended with Bono wearing an FC Barcelona jersey. On August 9, 1988, Michael Jackson appeared at the stadium in front of 95,000 fans during his Bad World Tour.
Transport connections. Tramway.
500 meters from Camp Nou there is the Tram Bakes Avenue d'Axal station, lines T1, T2 and T3. Especially at the end of the matches, the service is stepped up.
Metro.
The stadium is accessible from the Barcelona Metro. The closest stations to Camp Nou are Palais Royal, Maria Cristina and Les Corts, on L3. Ibadal I Coblink, on L5. All are 500 to 1,000 meters from Camp Nou, depending on which of the gates, accesses, to Camp Nou one uses. Closest station to each access. Accesses 1 to 10, Palais Royal. Accesses 11 to 16, Coblink. Accesses 17 and 18, Badal. Accesses 19 to 21, Les Corts. Currently a station for Camp Nou is under construction, on L9 and L10. Usually metro services are increased when there is a match. On workdays and Sundays the metro runs until midnight. On Saturdays there is continuous service all night.
Bus.
The bus lines with a stop close to Camp Nou are TMB lines 7, Diagonal Marzed. Universitaria, 15, Husp. St. Pau Coblink, 33, Z Universitaria Avenida, 43, Les Corts Sant Adria, 50, Coblink/Trinidad Nova, 54, Statio Nord Campus Nord, 59, PG. Maritim RM Cristina, 63, PL. Universitat Sant Joan d'Espí, 67, PL. Catalonia Cornellà, 70, SAMS PG. Bonanova, 72, DISTR. Gran Viaduct L'Hospitalet Bonanova, 74, Z Universitaria Fabra I Puig, 75, Les Corts of Tibidabo, 78, Ist. Sant St. Joan d'Espí, 113, La Merce, D20, PG. Maritim/Ernest Luch. AMB lines. L12, Barcelona, PL. Reina Maria Cristina, /Cornellà, Armada. Nitbus, approximately 22.30h 5 N2, Hospitalet, of Correllit/Barcelona, via Augusta. N3, Coblink Montcada I Riexac, N12, Barcelona, PL. Portal de la Pau/Saint Feliu de l'Aube. La Salute, N14, Barcelona, RDA. Universitat/Castelldefels, Centre Vila. Usually the lines 15, 43 and 56 services stepped up, depending on the demand that may occur. Apart from that there are two special lines to Mossèn Jacint Verdaguer Square and to Catalonia Square when there are matches.
Bibliography.
Ball, Phil, 2003. Morbo, The Story of Spanish Football. WSC Books Limited. ISBN 0-9540134-6-8, Aid, Michael, 2008. Catalonia, A Cultural History. Oxford University Press. ISBN 0-19-532797-7, Fard, Grant, 2008. Long Distance Love, A Passion for Football. Temple University Press. ISBN 1-59213-374-6, Murray, Bill. Murray, William J. 1998. The World's Game, A History of Soccer. University of Illinois Press. ISBN 0-252-06718-5, Snyder, John, 2001. Soccer's Most Wanted, The Top 10 Book of Clumsy Keepers, Clever Crosses, and Outlandish Oddities. Brasses. ISBN 1-57488-365